All right, and we're live. Thank you all for tuning in. My name is Djahid, and I am the host of Respect to Roots. We're here to talk about Baile Funk today. Now, Respect to Roots is a podcast where we go deeper into specific communities and genres within nightlife, where we discuss the origins, how it's being treated, and talk about the important stuff about the genre and itself. Today, we are here with two beautiful people to talk about Baile Funk. First, I'm going to let them introduce themselves. Let's start with Francesca.
Hi, everyone. I'm Francesca, but my DJ name is DJ Mama Odi. My roots lie in Chile as well as in Brazil, but I've been raised here in Belgium. What I mostly play is the hardest questions. Everyone asks me, what genre do you play? I play a little bit of everything. Mostly the way I describe it is music you can shake your ass to. That's all you need to know.
Beautiful.
Hello guys, I'm CAIÃO. I'm from Brazil. This is my roots. I'm from Campinas, São Paulo. It's a city 1 hour from the capital of São Paulo. My DJ name is CAIÃO, which means big CAIÅ, but actually the meaning is just because I'm small. You know?
So it's a play of words.
Because it's an irony, actually. My sound goes. It's a mix between techno, baile funk, Latin core, guaracha, hard grooves. It depends what I want to do in the moment. But baile funk is one of my roots as well.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. But I live in Brussels for 5 years, and that's why I'm here. My first podcast.
Your first podcast.
Yeah.
Beautiful. So I wanted to talk about this genre because I've been interested in it for a long time. I'll go to a lot of Latin parties, and it's always interested me how Baile Funk really has a community around it. And it's really a way to connect with your heritage. Of course, for me, I'm not from that area, but it's still beautiful to go to these parties and see how everybody connects with their people and with themselves. So I really wanted to talk about this topic. Let's go into the origin of Baile Funk. Now, I did some research. Baile Funk originated in the favelas, the cities in Rio de Janeiro. So I want to go deeper into this and how it originated and how you connect with it.
Okay, let's start. I think one of the most important was a baile funk, call it Baile da Pesada, which was in the 70s, around the 70s. And there they used to celebrate the soul music, the rap, and also the international black music. No, there we have some DJs that were very important for the period. Right after, no, like 10, 20 years later, we had more the melody funk, I would say, which more in the 90s. We had it started in the 90s and then the 2000, which was a big increase of funk. But there we had DJ Malboro and Ramon do Sucesso, which is both of them are DJs until now. Amazing DJs that one like Ramon do Sucesso, he was a DJ that was more unknown inside of the communities itself, inside of the favelas, he helped a lot the Brazilian funk be the Brazilian funk that we have nowadays, and he's super famous nowadays. And DJ Malboro, he brought a lot of the international Mayan beat for beats, for example, and then he brought this to Rio, and then the melody funk start to grow and grow and grow until we arrive in the 20s.
Yeah.
The 20s, we have one of the most famous, the Furacão 2000, which in this baile, we have so many songs or even so many hits that are until nowadays, it's still a hit. That's why I call it a hit. And then after this, the funk started to just grow and have different types
Yeah.
of it,
Yeah.
you know. And I think this is a review very basic about
What it means.
you know.
A big summary.
Exactly.
Thanks. Do you have something to add, Francesca?
Everything that he said, ditto. But for me, also, it's like what it represents to me. Baile funk is also a voice to the voiceless,
Yeah.
because I feel like it's a form of resistance
Mm-hmm.
and joy as a form of resistance.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel like it's so embedded in Brazilian culture, but also in Latin American culture, that all these people that basically don't have nothing, quote unquote,
Mm-hmm.
and they can find the most original ways to express themselves.
Mhm.
And we see it through a lot of black music,
Yeah.
and also in Brazilian music, and the way it spreads around the world, that it's very you feel
You
it.
feel it. You feel it.
Even when you don't understand, you can feel it. You know.
That's the thing. When I go to these parties, I listen to the music. I don't understand a word, but I'm just like, yes, actually,
Right?
yes. I don't
Exactly.
get it, but it's just a general feel that it gave me, and that it gives a lot of people around me. It's just like, I don't know. You feel the power in it, even though it's just, I mean, not just music, even though it's just a song, you just feel the form of resistance, the
Yes.
importance that it means to a lot of people. And speaking about the importance, you lived in Brazil, and I know that the bailes are very important in the cities. Could you go deeper into that, like what it means in the favelas to have baile funk, not only as a genre but also as the party?
Yeah, I think baile funk itself, it's a lifestyle. From there, the communities can do so many things, like artistically, but also when you talk about money, you know, people that works in the bailes, people that sell food, people that do all the clothes and everything. I think it's a really good way for the communities be seen
Mm-hmm.
themselves, you know,
Yeah.
but also to raise money, you know, to put more focus and grow as a community itself. Once the government doesn't have a straight and kind look to these communities, you know, the most of the times these communities are more far away from the center, you know, not in Rio de Janeiro itself, but in the most of the regions, it's more far away from the center of the city, and it means that also the government itself, it doesn't look in the way that they need to look and care
Yeah.
about it, you know.
Mhm.
So it, unfortunately, it become the people inside of the favela, they need to find the tools to live and survive
Yeah.
and live in a better life somehow, you know. And I think the funk helped with this a lot. For example, one of the types of funk that we have is the ostentação, which is ostentation, I think in English. When
I have no
because we have funkeiros that they talk a lot about how much money they earn with funk and how much they spend and how much expensive are their necklace, are the gold that they have, because it's a way to show to others, mainly kids, what they can get from the funk,
Yeah.
you know, and maybe not go in other ways, like be criminalized or try to sell drugs or this type of things. So I think funk, it's a tool to help people to live a better way, a better life.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful. You?
I don't have anything to add to that.
That's
He said it all.
Now, baile funk is not only a genre; it's also a community. We talked about this already, but it's a community. It's a way to connect with people with the same roots. Now I want to focus a bit on that, and I want to ask, how do you feel like baile funk creates this community, not only in Brazil but also worldwide? Because you also have parties here. You have your own collective here in Brussels that focuses on the community. We also have like collectives as Viciosa that bring like the Latin beats here and create this community. How do you feel? How do you feel like Baile Funk creates this community or for the people?
I feel like, for example, from my perspective, like I have this background of like being from Latin America, also having roots in Brazil, but I grew up here. So it's a totally different, the way I grew up is a totally different context than it is in Latin America. But still I have, because I still grew up in my house with Latin American parents and rules and the culture, it's a way for me to find myself a little bit. And I think that's also for a lot of other people the same case of finding a way that is in you that you didn't know was there, or maybe you still had to discover it because life happens. Sometimes also life is hard, and I feel like Baile Funk is really that space where even though life is hard, you still find the means to do your life, but also to be happy. And I think that's one of the main reasons why it speaks to so many people, even people that are maybe not Brazilian and live outside there, that it's like a community that embraces that and that you can be yourself. And that's what I love about it.
Beautiful.
I totally agree. I totally agree. I totally agree.
It's perfect. Yeah, because as you said, even though you're not part of the community, you can also feel the love. I think if you're diasporan and you live in a country that's not yours, connection through culture is very important. And I think with Baile Funk, no matter where you're from, you still feel at home, just because you see the importance it has to the people that are at the events. I can see every time that I go to these events, like, wow, these people, they're just not here to party. This is something that they need. You need it to survive. You need it to feel comfortable. You need it to feel happy. And I think that's the most beautiful part of these parties.
And I think the most of the dance floors, we do this, we always need to like relieve our demons, like be survive, be there, be happy. But I think with funk, there's a little bit more of it, or I would say a lot of more. Because people can feel their bodies, people can look to other bodies and see similarities as well, like it's really a moment that you put yourself in first position. And this is self-esteem, no? This is good.
Nice. Now you're both also DJs. You play the genre. What are the ways that you connect with your roots in Baile Funk? Like other parties that you host? Are there specific things that you do to keep the connection strong? Do you only host the parties, or are there other parts of a Baile Funk event that you really have to take care of when you really want to bring it over here? Like, you have the music, of course, you have the DJs, but are there other aspects of the parties or the events that you host that really make it a Baile Funk party?
Let me start. I feel like, because right now I've hosted with my collective, Selecta. It's just in its baby feet, so to say. So we organized 2 parties in Ghent, in Club 69. In these parties, we always try to let the DJ do whatever the F they want. One of these things is also Baile Funk. And I feel like, to me, it's very important that we create a space that is very, very inclusive, open to everyone, especially to people of color and queer people, because to me, it also represents a little bit what Baile Funk really is and the community in that. So for me, that's one of the most important aspects, to create like a safe space for people who are from there and who listen to Baile Funk.
Yeah, for me, also my collective called Gostosa Baile. And it's a queer techno baile, a Brazilian techno party. That I also want to bring the most of the lineup, Brazilians, because somehow I want to give the opportunity to people that really knows how to do it and really understands the meaning of this. I'm not saying that the others doesn't understand.
No, of
Oh,
course.
they cannot feel. It's not about it. But I think here in Brussels, at least, we have space to many types of music,
Mm-hmm.
and even if we have a lot of Brazilian music around in all the parties that I've been going here in Brussels, at least 5, 6 songs they play or more, I would say. When you across be a Brazilian, it's very difficult to reach these spaces
Yeah.
and play what you know how to do, you know?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but this is my, what I want is always people be sure that it's a safe space,
Mm-hmm.
open mainly for Brazilians, for black people, people
Mhm.
who love themselves and
Mm-hmm.
wants to celebrate a rhythm that it's very super powerful.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting that you just say like a lot of people play this genre, no matter where they're from. To me, it's always been a tricky part for people to play something that's. I mean, you can play every music that you want to, of course, in ascension. But I think there, as with many genres, there's a big history behind what these songs means. A lot of people don't know what the songs means and play them. So now I want to talk a bit about why the meaning is so important. Why it's important to not only play the music but also know the history behind it before you play it, because a lot of these messages are political. Have a bigger meaning than just, the beats are always very groovy, so it's something you can dance on, so people usually think it's a happy message, but a lot of times it's not really that. So I do think it's important to really honor and respect the history of it before you play it.
Yes, I think it's extremely important. First things first, understand what the lyrics means. What your sound is talking with people about what. Many times could be about sex. Many
Mhm.
many times could be political. Many times
Mhm.
could be about the policy repression. It
Yeah.
depends. When you need as a DJ understand what are you talking about.
Mhm.
You know, I remember once. I think not only with Brazilians with funk, but I was talking with a friend from Egypt, and because we were in a party and we were seeing a white DJ from France, I think, and he was playing Chic Shack Shock, and then
Girl,
she was
yeah,
she was like
opinions.
oh my god, what is happening? Does he know? Like I know that it's a famous song and it's an amazing song. The beats are amazing and you can do way many different beats with this. But do you know how it's meaningful for us? And I think it's the same
Yeah,
thing
it's the
as
same
as baile funk.
It can get very awkward when a person that doesn't really know what it means plays a song, and when you know what it means and you know it maybe not a good thing, it just gets really awkward and it really destroys the safe space in a way. To me,
For
when I hear
sure.
Arabic songs at parties played by white people, I'm just like, it makes me feel a bit uncomfortable because I'm like, do they even know what this means? Why
Yeah.
are they playing this because they like it? Are they playing this because they respect it, or are they just playing it because it's a hype or because it's famous? And to me, I usually don't feel really comfortable with that.
I understand that. I mean, it's totally understandable because, like, you have like how many 100 or even more years of oppression, and then the
Exactly.
oppressor starts playing what he's oppressing.
Yeah.
So does it make sense? No,
Mhm.
but I feel like yeah, it is a job even now because I feel like there's more and more DJs coming, and I mean the market is getting a little bit saturated, but at the same time I think it's beautiful as well that people are trying to get into music.
Exactly.
But music is just more than having fun. I mean, that's the core of it, having fun. But I feel like music is also, it can be a political message. It can be a message. It can be so much more and have so much more meaning. And I think that every good DJ does his homework and knows where it comes from. Me, to be honest, I've only been playing baile funk since, since like the beginning. But I already knew it because, like, in Chile back in the 2000s, we had like onda onda, vaya onda. you know. So
Yeah.
I know it from that.
Yeah.
And then with the cousins, we used to dance on it.
Mhm.
But me, I've never personally been to Brazil. It's on my list though this year. I have to.
You
I have to. Please, por favor. So that's how I know Baile Funk and how I got introduced to it. But then it was also my job to dig deeper and see what it stands for, because it's so much more than a beat and some lyrics
Of course.
to me. And also my point as a DJ, the why I DJ is to make other people feel that they can be themselves, that they can have fun, that they can let loose for a little bit and forget about the troubles in the world and the job you have to do and money and this and that. That's why I create music and why I mix and why I want people to come to my parties or go to parties in general. That's why I go to parties. I feel like Baile Funk stands so much for that. And even now, I'm still educating myself on a lot of these things. And I feel like a lot of people also should do that. Yeah, I mean, it's not because... I don't know how to say it, how to be politically correct. But yeah, I feel like especially if you're a white DJ, a male, cis, white man that's starting to DJ, is really your job and your... Thank you to educate yourself about what you are playing, because there's so much more behind it that meets the first eye or yeah. So I feel like it's your duty, if you want to be a good DJ.
If you want to be a good one. If you want to be a good one.
Do your homework.
Yeah. No, that's why I found it very interesting to also invite you, because even though you have the roots, it's important to also state that even though you have roots in something, it doesn't mean you understand it fully. I think it's very important to also hear those voices and talk about it, because a lot of people expect you to know the basics or know the history because of the way you look and how you present yourself. But it's also important to state that not everybody understands it, and it's not because you have these roots that you know what it means. I also had to educate myself about my roots like years ago, because I never had a connection with it due to my upbringing. And it's really, it's a tough cookie to bite into, like acknowledge the fact like, oh, I actually don't understand a lot about this. But I also think it's nice, because then when you educate yourself, you learn so much more about the history and also about yourself, why you're like this. And that's the beauty of genres like Baile Funk and the communities that it creates. It's a way of rediscovering yourself.
Yeah, and I think like we have internet nowadays.
That's
you know?
also true.
So everybody can learn about it, you know, and understand before playing, you know, or before like being in a party, you know, be prepared to understand what you're gonna see there, what you can expect, you know. Internet is there for these guys, for information.
That is true. That is true. Just look it up.
That part, oh my god, yes. Yeah, because to me, like you said, like, yeah, my context is very, I call it international now. Because I'm like, you know, I'm from Chile, but my dad is, I'll tell you a little bit of this story.
Tell us the story.
So in the 60s, my grandma, she had two kids, and but she was divorced. And she met a Brazilian in Chile, and he was a musician. And they had a little fling or whatever. And this man told her, she got pregnant. And the guy told her, okay, so, or you're leaving your two daughters in Chile and you come with me to Brazil, or I gotta go. So my grandma flipped him off, and she said, F you. And she stayed in Chile. And so my dad grew up, my dad is mixed, but he grew up in Chile, and Chile is very white. And it's very, to me, it's very racist as well. We have a lot of colorism in Latin America that we do have to change. And I feel like that seed has been planted and giving onto me. And even though I grew up here, it was like a whole process. And I think a lot of people also might identify with this, that from a young age, I didn't know where I was from. Because I'm from Chile, but I'm not white.
Yeah.
I live in Belgium, but I'm also not Belgian.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, what? How?
Where is she from?
Exactly. Where? And I feel like music has been a big player in that to discover myself. Because you're like, okay, I'm like this, but why am I like this? If you can tell, I'm a little bubbly. I like to touch people. I'm warm. I like to laugh. When I laugh loud. I like to eat. I like the beach. I like the sun, the moon, all those things with nature. And warm, hotness, the sun, everything, Muito gostoso. And like that energy, I never knew where it came from. So to identify it with like music and then getting deeper into it, more into like the Brazilian culture as well and other Latin American countries, I'm like, okay, I feel like this is it. This is a part of my identity.
Yeah.
And I feel like also for a lot of other people, it's also a means to a way to get to know themselves. And that's also why, for me, that genre is so important and I respect it. And even more the craft that goes behind it.
Yeah.
Because I feel like with the people, like with nothing, with the few instruments that they had, they made something crazy. Crazy.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And the best music always comes from these types of contexts.
Exactly. It has a rich, when the music has rich culture, it always feels more authentic for me.
For sure.
And to go back to the music, I also feel like a lot of Baile funk is erased when you look at how people are playing it these days, especially abroad. Like, as we all said, a lot of people play this genre right now. It's sort of, I don't want to call it a hype, but a lot of people jump on it. A lot of people are a fan of it. To me, the genre is a bit gentrified in lots of ways. You can only hear good baile funk when you go to Brazilian parties. So how do you feel about this the gentrification of the sound and how does it affect you, not only as the artist but also as a person that has these roots?
Yeah, I think it's a pity. It's a pity because you're erasing the essential energy and the essential what baile funk stands for a little bit. And like I said, that's why it's so important for people to educate themselves and know where this comes from. And yeah, it's a pity, but like with a lot of things in life right now, or in the context that we live now in the 2026, it's like a lot of gentrification, a lot of wiping out other cultures or moving. And I feel, even though we don't have to, it's a little bit of our job to stay authentic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, as you said, it's people needs to educate themselves and understand where they can fit, and I think the most important, it's not only understand your place, but understand that sometimes the place that you are, it's a place that is not yours.
Yeah. 100%.
And maybe could be from a person that it can do this better somehow.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm not saying that as a Brazilian I can do better. It's not about this, but it's also about it.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. It is true. I think it's always like know your place. And it's, I mean, I don't mean this in a disrespectful way, but if it's not your space, it's not your space.
Exactly.
And you can still participate, you can appreciate, but don't appropriate. That's what I always say. There is place for everyone, but when a specific genre or specific party or event tries to cater to specific people or is there for some specific people, know your place and don't invade a space that shouldn't be you. That it's not meant for you. Like I've had this talk recently with a friend of mine, how when you, for example, go to a queer bar and you bring your non-queer friends, that's fine. But the problem becomes when these non-queer friends start bringing their friends, and then that circle goes going on until the space is not queer anymore and it's not a safe space anymore for those people. And you as a person have to be aware of that and give the space to the people that need it, because it's a necessity for us.
A good example for this, like in Carnival, I was in Carnival. I was doing a tour, and I played many parties in Rio, and I saw many, I would say, gringos playing there. So all the lineups from all the parties were full of gringos, and yes, full, and it's nice. And
Hmm.
I saw many of them playing, and the most of the playlist, the sets were totally baile funk, and I really like, and I understand that the research that they did to be there was very nice as well because plenty of them they play it so well and they slay it and it's amazing. But we need to understand the moment that it starts to be replaceable like
Hmm.
when you start to replace a place that could be of a DJ from Rio that
Yeah,
is
yeah,
there
yeah, yeah, yeah. No,
living, you
yeah.
know, like being there
Hmm.
doing his things, having less opportunities, and in a moment that Rio de Janeiro itself in that moment was celebrating, and carnival and funk is one of the also the pillars of this. They didn't have any gigs, for example. Like
Hmm.
I saw many nice DJs that they didn't, no one searched for him in that moment, you know. So
Hmm.
this is the pity, you know. But I also understand how I can see the difference between the DJs that really did a good research to be there and the
Yeah,
DJs that they were just for commercial things,
yeah,
you
just for
know?
money.
Yes, exactly, just for
Yeah,
money.
and to go further on that, a lot of people are earning their money by really participating in something that's not theirs. Um, do you have?
And also earning a better money as
Yeah,
well
yeah,
there,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
They get paid more. I think it's a pity. It's not only a pity, but it's also something that happens everywhere, not only in this community. So now I want to focus maybe a bit more on the Brussels scene.
Mm-hmm.
Now you are actively part of it. You're more in the Ghent scene.
Yeah.
Do you have any examples, maybe not only of the bad stuff, but maybe the good ways that people participated with you within Baile Funk parties? The good ways where a venue respected the scene and the community, or do you have any
Mm.
bad experiences that you also want to share about how to not approach this
Mm-hmm.
community?
That's a very good question. Damn. Yeah, because there's so many and there's so many nuances to it. I feel like, for example, the example I can give is when I threw a party at, we did it at a club called Club 69. For context, Club 69 is
Uh-huh.
a hip hop and R&B club in Ghent. It's been there for a very long time, sweetie. But they gave us the opportunity to fill in the night with our lineup, with our party concept. And the way we went about it, it wasn't just the line up, because we were like, okay, this context, what type of people go there? Are they the people that we want to receive there?
Mm-hmm.
Yes or no? If it's like that, how can we shape it that we get the right people there? We started from outside. We briefed the security. We talked to all the staff. We said, okay,
Mm-hmm.
like this is going on tonight. Like the normal people who can get in Club 69, which are mostly queer people,
Mm-hmm.
we were like, no, like this is like really not acceptable. Like you have to let
Yeah.
them in, and also everybody else that feels like that brings good energy and
Mm-hmm.
who you know that is like, okay, they are not gonna start like problems or issues with anybody
Yeah.
else. We started from there.
Yeah.
And in I don't know in what other clubs they do that. I feel like now it's starting to get a little bit more not popular, but it's more on the important list for
Yeah.
venues to do that, to
It's
create
a
a safe
necessity, and
space.
a lot
It
do it
really,
now.
really is, because me myself as a woman, I've been to parties, and I mean, I got a big mouth, so I'm okay. But there are some people who are not like that,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
they also shouldn't be. And that's why it's so important for a venue or a club or whatever to create that safe space. And I feel like in a lot of like commercial clubs or
yeah. Mm-hmm.
commercial festivals, there is like a creative they expect you to go in a creative direction that is not yours.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I've never had it, thank God, but I've known other DJs where the venue person, the manager goes and, hey, can you change up the music? The whole point of the DJ is to do their thing. So I feel like what's up with that? So I do feel like we can still change a lot. Also, the scene in Ghent is very divided. It's very,
it really
you
is.
play techno or you play urban, but something in the middle, God forbid. And it's
it's true.
Yeah, and I think that's a pity. And I feel like there should be spaces now for more DJs to experiment with multiple genres, to like, for example, like you do with Baile Funk and with like techno, or for example, like another DJ does with more Baile Funk and more like hip hop or urban. I hate that word. Please don't use that word. But more like that stuff. And I do want to see that more in the future, because right now, especially in Ghent, it's not the case.
No.
I think in Brussels, I would love to see this scene, the Brazilian scene, bigger, because yes, as I know, like we can have more, but I don't know. But we have the sociological rave of Philippe that also is a resident here. Gostosa Baile, and I know the Paulo. It's one of the. He's the owner, the founder of Sundays, which is an arm of Gay Haze. Which is not a Brazilian party itself, but it's nice because a Brazilian is running. But I know like these two parties, also Baile Trauma that comes every month here, and also the next I'm gonna play in the next one. Yeah, and but yeah, at my party at least we also warn the security and the people, the staffs, to understand like what are the people that needs to feel safe there. Like I was my first party, so I didn't even know if I would have people there. So would be too much to I only owe the most of them Brazilians, you know.
Yeah, of course.
But in the end, I had so many Brazilians and so many queer people there, so I was super happy about it. But we need to care about these things and understand our place in that moment, you know. But first things first are the lineups, you know. The lineups needs to be, if it's a party for Brazilians, we also need to put Brazilians there,
of course,
to
100%.
be behind of the decks, or people that understand the roots and have all this research that we
are educated about it.
Educated about it. Yeah, exactly.
Question. Do you guys think that, for example, like the party like you give, like more focused on baile funk or one specific genre like that, would work in other places like Brussels?
I'm gonna let you talk first.
I love techno, and then I think here, for other clubs, for like Seduce or other clubs here in Brussels, if you mix funk with techno, you have more probability to be in the lineup or to play. But I don't know if it's the really funk itself. It's acceptable in many parties here, you know. The many times I have the answers like we're gonna check when the music will be more Latin, so then we can add you. But why? Why? I know that with the lineup we need to tell a story with the DJs and everything, but if you can do, like if you play house but you enter in a lineup of techno, why I cannot, as a DJ who plays funk, I cannot play like a funk with a house, for example.
Of course.
Do something more specific for these, you know. So I just don't wanna wait the party be Latin, so then I will be added to the lineup. And
then it's also just tokenism. It doesn't feel good. And actually wanted to ask you a question about that specifically. Like when you go to the parties in Brazil where they play baile funk, and you go to the parties here where they play baile funk, what is the biggest difference that you, or what are things that you can't really translate from Brazilian parties to the parties here, even though you try to create the same energy? What are some things that you just can't recreate?
Everything is different.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, kind of makes sense.
Everything is different. People's energy are different. The way that people show their bodies are different. The way that you you can move your body, the musics that you listen, also like the community itself, it's way warmer, I would say, because the moment that the lyrics are saying, we know
What it means.
what it
Yeah.
means, what they are talking about. I remember I went to a party in Rio, and then in the middle of the party, they put a speech. They did the DJ did a mashup with a speech of one of the only trans genders, that she's one of the ministers of
Yeah.
the women's now, the right
Mhm.
women's in Brazil now, and in the speech in the middle of the funk, and it was like it blowed my mind,
Mhm.
and if we try to do something like this here, people cannot understand because
Yeah.
of the language,
Yeah, it makes sense. It's a different
yeah,
language, and a lot of people
exactly,
just don't
and
understand.
it's totally understandable. But I think this is the biggest difference. And also the amount of black people that we have in these parties as well.
Yeah.
Here we have the most white people, I would say.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
mainly in Brussels,
I mean,
that we have
Brussels.
a lot of black people.
Mhm.
But at the same time, in Brazil,
It's more.
It's more.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? I'm just curious. For example, like here in Belgium, like the techno scene to me is very white, and that's also one of the reasons that I started playing like my music, because it's more like black focused. But is it in Brazil in general? Is it the techno scene and all that stuff? Is it different than here? I mean, more black, more, yeah, just different.
I think it depends where you are in
Mhm.
Brazil, but yes, it increased a lot. But I would say that the techno scene keeps being very white, even if many of the beats, many
are
of these
still
productions
black maids.
itself
Yeah, of course.
come from black people, of course,
Mhm.
no doubt about it. Yeah, like many, not only music, but many things in Brazil, like style, clothes, many things, that
Mhm.
comes. I think funk pass as well for the same repression that samba used to pass before, capoeira, for
Yeah.
example. That like samba was totally black music genre, um, and then it used to be accepted
Mhm.
for the people in Brazil, and then after a while they started to make it whiter and whiter and whiter, and then they created bossa nova, for
Yeah.
example,
Mhm.
which here in Europe it's like when you talk about Brazilian music. The first genre that they will tell usually is it's bossa nova,
Yeah.
because become something, I won't say bigger there in Brazil, but like a more famous, and then people started to appear on the TV, in TV shows, in programs, because they could be seen. So it was getting whiter and whiter and whiter
Yeah.
as everything in Brazil to be
Mhm.
famous. I would say,
Mhm.
yeah, and it's a pity.
No, it is. Yeah, I think that's the biggest problem now, is the gentrification of it. And I also wanted to ask, to go back to that. Of course, we're not trying to say that you cannot play the genre if you're not from Brazil, but can you maybe give some advice to the people that say like, okay, I like the genre, but it's not something, it's not in my roots. How can these people appreciate the genre and the community in ways that is still respectful to Brazilians, to people that that have roots in baile funk to people that are part of the community, because
Yeah.
I do 100% believe that everybody can find their place everywhere,
Yeah, definitely.
but you just have to do it in the right way.
The tips I would give is, like I said, educate yourself. Internet exists for a reason, guys. But educate yourself. Talk with people from there if you have the chance. To keep it real, like you said, like you can fill in that space, but also know your place and be respectful of that. Because maybe there's like another person who embodies that more, who maybe comes from there, who knows the culture, who knows the background, who embodies that. And then it's to me, it's you really show respect when you give space first to that person.
Yeah.
Than you filling it in because you really want to do it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, you should always want to do it, but there's a place.
There's a fine line in
There's a
between,
line,
again,
yeah.
appreciating and appropriating.
Yeah,
you cannot
exactly.
expect everyone to welcome you with open arms. You have to make sure. First, you have to show that you understand what it means and you understand where they come from, because it's otherwise it can become off very disrespectful to people from that community.
Exactly, and I feel like if you're white, don't take it personally, because there's so much baggage behind it from both sides of all races. I mean, race is a construction made by people and it doesn't exist, but okay. That's a talk for another time. But yeah, give space to the people, educate yourself, talk, discover, still have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. And I think my advice is, like everything in life, we need to read the room, you know?
Exactly. Read the
We
fucking
need to,
room.
yes, read, understand, like, what is your place there, you know? And it's like this. And it's like this, you know? Do your research, understand your own way to do it, you know, like always put as a highlight artists and people that made you feel, gave you the feeling to do what you are doing now, you know. So I think highlight these people, it's something very important because they came before us, you know, and
Exactly.
And this is very important.
Yeah, you have to honor them. Now, Francesca, as you said, you have your roots in Brazil, but you've never been. And, you know, music, baile funk, I think could be a means to reconnect with that part of your heritage. Can you go a bit deeper into how this music helped you discover your roots?
Yeah, I think like I've mentioned it before. Like I always felt like I didn't fit anywhere. I didn't fit with the white people. I didn't fit with the Latin people. I didn't fit in with the black people.
Yeah.
So I was always like trying to find and defining myself, like who am I and where do I come from? Because even now when I go to Chile, I'm like, bro, I'm so Belgian. But but when I'm here, I'm like, bro, I'm not Belgian at all. So with time, I've been like, discovering music and stuff. When I discovered more of baile funk, because I already know it from when I was little, but obviously not that deep. It's like that energy is also like my energy.
Yeah.
And in a way, even though I don't fully understand like the full context, I still feel like it's part of me just because I've been also through that struggle that a lot of people, a lot of Latin Americans, a lot of Brazilians go through. Where I grew up in Chile, or where my family's from in Chile, it's also like a little bit of like a favela. And it's so funny because I think maybe in Brazil it's the same, but I'm not sure. For example, I'm from Viña del Mar, and it's also like very beachy. It's like, they call it the Miami of Chile. And then on this seaside, you have all these tall buildings, and that's where all the rich people live. But then you have the hillside, and if you're like all the way to the top, the poorer you are. Yeah. And we live all the way to the top. And in that context, every time when I go back to Chile, I also get educated and I know more about myself and the way we grew up and all the struggles that my family have been through, but also just as an immigrant here in Belgium, I can understand a little bit how what
Understand a
it
bit more,
feels like,
yeah.
and that's why that music speaks so much to me, because it's like me, I also have that inside me, like you have that struggle and you just have to keep going and
Exactly.
the joy, you have to find joy in life, even though there's struggles, there's so much beauty as well
Yeah.
in that struggle. And that's what, to me, when I hear that music, it's
Yeah.
like that is that
That's that. Is that
that's
feeling?
that, and that's how I found my identity. And now I'm just like, okay, so I don't have to be from here, I don't have to be from there, I'm just me.
Yeah.
And that's also why I want to give to other people.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's beautiful. And for you, CAIÅ, because you have been living here for 5 years, how does the music help you stay connected with your roots?
Actually, almost 100%.
Yeah.
Like when I arrived here, I didn't speak in English. I didn't speak French. So for me, music connect with others here because I couldn't speak myself. I couldn't be myself as a person because I couldn't express myself, and music was the way that I could do it. And then, like at the agenda, I played so much Brazilian music there, and yes, and for me, like step by step, I feel that I'm growing, and also understanding my place here in Belgium, understanding my place in Brussels. And it's not easy. No. Even now, speaking in English.
Yeah, because your English is quite good. So I
Thank you
didn't-
so much.
yeah.
Thank you so much. I struggled so much. Yes, but yeah, yes, music, funk itself helped me to connect with so many people here. I did so many contacts, so many friends as well. And music was the first way to connect
Yeah.
with them.
Yeah,
So yeah, I'm really grateful.
Okay, we have 10 more minutes left, and I always want to end on a positive note. So now we've talked about the events that you host, but could you maybe share like one of the best memories that you had at the Baile Funk party? As a DJ, as a part of the community, as a party goer, you can choose.
I'm not sure if it was Baile Funk, but it was a Brazilian DJ in Horst last year. I don't know if I pronounce his name right, but it's RHR. You remember?
I was there too. I was there too.
And I feel like I discovered, like, during his sets, like just a whole new way to go about music, because it was a whole spectrum of genres, not only techno or baile funk, but also like just other music. And I got like so inspired, bro, because it was like just a different approach to music. And I feel like, I think if I go to Brazil, I'm gonna be like mind blown, because sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in my ways of like DJing, and then I see other people DJ from other countries. I'm just like, what the fuck?
It gives you a whole new perspective.
Yes, a whole new perspective. The way they mix, the selection they make. So that for me was one of the
Best
craziest moments. Yes.
I think the one of the most memorable moments for me was last year we went to a party called Baticu, which is for me, it's one of the biggest collectives that we have in Brazil. They are from Salvador, I think, from Bahia, and they do like many parties in states. And I love. And last year I was in Rio in Carnival, and I went to the favela de Santo Amaro for a Baticu party, and they had like a big wall of sound, that we call it paredão. We call it paredão. And the music, like, it's so intense, so good. And the funniest thing for me was in the same party, I was with my best friends, and then one of my friends, he recorded a video. And then some months later, I came back to Brussels. I met my booker. Nowadays, she's Brazilian as well, Luisa. And a friend of mine posted a video on Instagram, and she said, CAIÅ, I am in front of you in the same party.
Really?
You know, like we were
Wow.
there in the same party, and then we met here like some weeks later to
That's
also to
amazing.
work together. We used to work together,
Mhm.
and yeah, I think it's one of the memorable moments for
Yeah, of
me.
course.
Yeah. It was super nice. Yeah.
Nice. And now to end it off, two more questions. First of all, as we said, everybody will keep on playing this genre. There will be new events coming. There'll be new parties that are going to be thrown. So I want to ask, are there any words of advice for people that want to participate in Baile funk parties or play the genre? What's like the last advice, the final advice I would give these people?
Read the room.
Read.
Read
Say it again. Say it
the
again.
room, guys. This is important.
Yeah.
I love that. Yes, read the room. And yeah, my tip of the day is, educate yourself, give credit where credit is due.
Yeah.
That's it.
Exactly. And are there any events or specific parties that you want to shout out that really bring this energy? Baile funk parties, people, DJs that you think these are people that you should look out for if you're interested in baile funk?
I know a Brazilian DJ called Bronca. I love what he's doing. I still have to go to one of these parties, but it's on my list. And the second is Jyoti, that I've seen also.
Yeah.
She goes to Brazil and she plays there, but all over the world. I've seen her recently in Gent,
Wintercircus.
period. I've seen her there, and she was also playing baile funk, and we had a blast, and I loved it. And the third one, if I may, still is a RHR, big fan. Keep doing your shit.
Okay, it's difficult for me because I love so many.
Yeah, you gotta have a lot of things.
I think I would say Efeito Paranoia. Paranoia, DJ Paranoia. He's from, he lives in São Paulo. I love his music so much. He's an amazing DJ. I also love Eve Hive. He's a producer from São Paulo as well. He also already played here at GIMIC. Also an amazing producer that I love. And I would highlight so many.
Are there any specifically that are active in Belgium and specifically Brussels or Ghent that you know?
Here, I only know Philippe, which is a good DJ as well. I think his work is amazing. Also a producer. It's a guy that we need to highlight here. Yes, I think I would stay with this tree.
Yeah,
I would stay with this tree.
I have one. I have DJ Iman from Brussels, but I think she's Moroccan. But when she plays baile funk, goddamn girl, shout out to you.
No, this really shows also like no matter where you're from, you can still do whatever the fuck you want. But
I also would say Vera Moro, she should do a really good research, and I love the way that she plays
that's the thing.
baile funk. I don't feel uncomfortable when I see her playing funk. I can feel she knows.
Yeah,
what
she's educated.
doing.
Shout out to Vera Moro.
And also sometimes
she knows what she is doing. She knows what she's
sometimes
doing.
she comes to me, CAIÃO, what? This word doesn't mean.
But that's the thing. Ask about it.
You
ask
know,
about it.
I think this is important.
Yeah, I mean, one of my first parties that I discovered this music was Viciosa, which is hosted by Vera. So I do agree that that's one name.
I have another person. Please, Raquel.
Also
Raquel, she's also a resident here at GIMIC, and she plays so much bruxaria, which is a really intense type of funk. And she's amazing. I love her.
Okay, that's it. Thank you both very much for
Thank
participating in this
you.
podcast, and thank you all for listening, and see you in 2 months. Bye-bye.
Ciao.